What is ROE for private military companies? Have you ever wondered how private military companies operate in conflict zones? A key aspect of their operations is something called rules of engagement, often shortened to ROE. These rules are vital for guiding how these companies conduct their security and combat operations. In the context of private military companies and international humanitarian law, ROE outlines when and how these companies can use force. They help ensure that actions taken by these companies are legal and ethical. This is especially important when considering the Geneva Conventions and the laws of armed conflict. So, what do these rules of engagement actually cover? First, they clarify when force can be used. This means distinguishing between defensive actions, like protecting oneself, and offensive actions, which might involve initiating combat. Next, ROE set limits on the type and amount of force that can be used. This is crucial to avoid excessive force that could lead to violations of humanitarian law. The principles of distinction and proportionality are key here. Distinction means recognizing the difference between combatants and civilians. Proportionality ensures that any force used is not excessive compared to the military advantage gained. ROE also provide guidance on how to treat detainees and protect non-combatants. This is essential for maintaining the safety of civilians during armed conflict. Since private military companies are non-state actors, their ROE must align with international legal standards to prevent violations of humanitarian law. Unlike state military forces, private military companies do not have sovereign authority. Their rules of engagement are often established through contracts with the hiring party. However, they must still comply with international humanitarian law obligations. In practice, ROE for private military companies restrict the use of lethal force to situations involving self-defense or the defense of others. They prohibit actions that could be classified as war crimes, such as targeting civilians or using banned weapons. Additionally, these rules requiring mechanisms for reporting and accountability for any incidents involving the use of force. Training is also a key component, ensuring that personnel understand international humanitarian law norms and the specific ROE they must follow. In summary, rules of engagement for private military companies are operational guidelines that regulate their use of force in armed conflicts. They ensure that actions comply with fundamental aspects of international humanitarian law, protecting civilians and maintaining lawful conduct during war.